everything flows seamlessly.
And we want to help you embrace the change.
They need tools that are reliable and powerful enough to run their entire business. And that's exactly what we built.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Cohen, Global Head of Partnerships at Square. You made it. This is the last session of the day. And we thought we would wrap it up by bringing our partners up here and talking to them about how together with our partners, Square can better serve our sellers. You've already had one happy hour. We're having another happy hour after this, and then hopefully you'll all be joining us for dinner as well. I'll give you some more details on that in just a few minutes. First, I want to extend a big thank you to all of our partners who are here today. As you know, thank you. As you heard, we have 1,000 partners. We have a handful of them in the room today, and they are our most trusted and most influential collaborators. So from myself and from everyone at Square, thank you to our partners. Now I'm excited to invite a panel of 3 partners to discuss how we can continue innovating on the future of commerce. So please join me in welcoming, and actually I don't have the clicker, but if you can skip the next slide, our 3 panelists today: Kelly Wilbar, VP of Technology Products at Cubica; Tamara Neeson, Chief Marketing Officer of WooCommerce; and Darcy Lundy, Director of Partnerships at OpenTable. Welcome. All right. Thank you for joining us here today. Everyone's had champagne and wine, maybe getting a little sleepy, so we're going to make sure this is worth your while. Why don't we start off by doing some quick intros to get to know this group. If we can go down the line, we'll start with you and talk a little bit about your company, your role there, where you're based, and then we'll get into how we work together.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good to be here. So my name is Kelly with Cubica AMF. We are the largest provider of bowling equipment, technology, and services. So if there's anybody in the room who's ever walked into a bowling alley in their life, the odds are you've interacted with our products. We're based in Richmond, Virginia, and also have a major part of operation in Bologna, Italy, where our software team is based out of. And our products run the gambit, and my team in particular focuses on the technology products that run the gamut from the scoring systems that you would interact with when you're playing on lane and alternate games and ways to play, and then also all of the software and services in back office that centers use to run their operations. Bowling is a really interesting business. It's still very community-based, very much dominated in the U.S. by sole proprietors and small family operations, and it's a really cool business. So.
Thank you.
Very fascinating. My name is Tamara Neeson. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at WooCommerce. WooCommerce, if you're not familiar with it, is actually the most popular commerce platform in the world. And I have joined here about a year ago to change the fact that you may not know that. We have quite a bit of work to do, and we're really grateful for the partnership with Square to be able to do that. But we'll chat a little bit more about that. I'm based in Waterloo, Ontario, which is about an hour south of Toronto.
Hi, everyone. My name is Darcy Lundy. I'm the Director of Global Partnerships at OpenTable, and I oversee our diner demand partnership strategy as well as our B2B product integrations, which connect OpenTable with the broader restaurant tech ecosystem. I'm based in San Francisco, and I'm thrilled to be here today.
All right, thank you. Partner is a broad term. It means many different things. We heard from some of our partners today from Google. We talked about Cisco earlier, who's in the room as well. Why don't we talk about the way we work together? So the way we work with the 3 of you is very different. Why don't we start with OpenTable first and talk about how we integrate and what we do together?
Yeah, absolutely. So OpenTable and Square have a bi-directional integration, meaning We bring transactional data from the Square POS into OpenTable for Restaurants, which is our operations platform. And in turn, we send reservation details and guest information to OpenTable. And this really gives restaurant teams a 360-degree view of their diners so that they can deliver enhanced hospitality on premise, improve operational efficiencies, and also better target marketing so that they're capturing the right diner with the right offer at the right time. So one really cool feature that we have is automated table statuses, which I think Jacob mentioned earlier. It's really great to hear that in a live example. Basically, as a diner moves through their meal from appetizer to entree, dessert to paid, the host can see that in real time in OpenTable for Restaurants, and they can be assigning tables and optimizing floor plans, ultimately to decrease wait times for other guests, and again, improve operations so that at the end of the day, they're driving revenue and really impacting the restaurant's bottom line.
Awesome. And that was not staged with Jacob. We didn't know
It wasn't.
Using OpenTable, but we do have many mutual customers where we're solving that friction for them.
So with Square and Woo, in the simplest of terms, we bridge the offline to the online. WooCommerce is an open source commerce platform. And so with working with Square, we can bring the best-in-class POS with the best-in-class commerce in a very intuitive, seamless way for sellers or merchants. I'll use those words interchangeably. And Vijay actually somewhat stole some of my value props and differentiators, which was a really telling moment in a way that Square's values, the things that we want to bring, how we want to enable merchants and sellers is very similar to the way that Woo wants to. We want to be able to do it in an open environment that allows you to have choice, flexibility, and ownership over how you bridge that online to the offline and scale on your terms.
Great. And I think maybe one of our longest running partnerships, close to a decade, if not further out. Yes, let's hear about Cubica and how we work together.
We should have coordinated to say different things, but for us, what brought us originally to Square was the opportunity to work with a best-in-class partner that brought a full platform. The businesses in our industry, there are a number of things that are very particular, very unique, and things that we have been the best at doing for a very long time. And then there are other elements that, for this room, would probably seem a little more routine, particularly when it comes to running food and beverage operations, restaurants, things like that. That as they take on greater prevalence in these entertainment centers becomes a much bigger piece. So working together with Square allows us to build out a total end-to-end ecosystem and solutions for bowling entertainment centers that can bring our technology together where we're the best, together with Square where they are the best. To date, we've built a payments integration so that it can be seamless from our software inside, both for in-person, think front desk purchases, point of sale, a self-serve kiosk, and then also online payments integrated into our web booking and reservation systems. And we launched that last year. And then at the beginning of this year, we launched a deep integration to the Square Restaurants POS, I guess now Square POS, based on the names today, to bring the full power and capabilities to Square and make that the single system of truth in the building and empower our customers to get even more out of the larger Square ecosystem. And we're working on our third major integration right now that we're looking to the second half of this year, connecting to Square marketing and loyalty products.
Awesome. Yeah, so you can see we work together in very different ways, serving very different verticals. Follow-on question for you, Kelly. We often hear sellers tell us they don't want too many tools. It's clunky. They want something that just works. So how does Cubica plus Square solve that for them? How does it reduce friction instead of adding friction?
One of the biggest problems, and it won't be foreign to any of the business operators in this room, is fragmentation of technology. As you find you want to do new things, you want to do different things, you're bolting on this service for that, and this software platform for something else. And in bowling entertainment, it's been no different. As those businesses have evolved and they want to take on and do more things and provide more services and kind of diversify the activities and ways that they're making money, it's introduced just a lot of different technologies. And so fragmentation has been a huge problem. Working together with Square, we are on the path to address that, in a very constructive way, and to help build out more things that work together. And it's really a mission about fewer systems working better together. Square is a big part of that for us as a partner. There's an example of a really good operator that's in our first interaction with them in the early days of starting to work together with Square. They had 12 to 15 different technology platforms they were working with. Management system, point of sale, this for social media, 4 different booking platforms, and so on. And post the integrations that we've done so far, they've brought that down to 7. They literally cut their systems in half. And there'll be further opportunity as we do more things to reduce it. So making things turnkey and working better together, that's the mission we're on together.
And is that from 12 to 7, is that because Square works with those companies, so it's integrated, or they're using a solution, either yours or ours, to try to condense?
Mostly using a combination of ours, but then by extension, the other elements, they're in Square's ecosystem. So other products in the Square portfolio or working with other partners of Square. It really multiplies out the effect because then everything can work together.
Great. Maybe same question for you, Darcy. How do we, is there an example of a seller you have where we've reduced friction but by having that integration?
Yeah, absolutely. I think similar to what Kelly said, we know the restaurant tech space is extremely fragmented. Restaurants work with a number of different partners to power their day-to-day, whether it be their CRM, POS, TMS, all the acronyms, and the list goes on. And so it was really important for Square and OpenTable to ensure that our onboarding flow was seamless and self-serve when we were developing this partnership. So today, restaurants can simply log into OpenTable for Restaurants, navigate to our integrations marketplace, click on the Square tile, log in, and have data syncing in no time. We also have onboarding specialists who help new restaurants get online really quickly with their POS system so that they can take advantage of having transactional data in OpenTable for Restaurants and guest reservation details in the POS from day one of the integration. So really streamlining getting on board and getting up and running has helped restaurants really see the full benefits of this partnership.
Great. The three of you represent very distinct verticals, from leisure and bowling to e-commerce to food and beverage. I want to go down the row here and ask you, what are some of the trends and challenges you're facing in your industry, and how is partnering with Square helping the sellers in your vertical?
Biggest piece for our group is just the evolution of the business, and it's connected to the fragmentation problem I mentioned a moment ago. Centers are evolving rapidly. There's probably plenty of people in the room who've seen it. Think about the sorts of bowling center you might have walked into 10 or 20 years ago compared to these just amazing entertainment facilities that are there today. And part of the evolution of that business is adding a lot of complexity. So it's not just about running a bowling operation. It means you're running a restaurant, you're running an arcade, you're running other attractions, you're running marketing and loyalty programs, you're finding ways to promote, and it's just added a tremendous amount of complexity. And so watching that growth in the industry, and for us, the desire to be out in front and help address those needs, provide solutions, help these businesses to really deliver for their end customers is what drives us. And it's part of what is so powerful about the relationship working together with Square.
Similar trend here, but I'll try and share a little bit of a different angle. Hearing from specifically our food and bev merchants, we're hearing a lot of change in the industry, consolidation. Is that the way I should go? Do I want to have more of a fragmented tech stack? How do I manage this level of complexity? And in many cases, Woo sees a lot of merchants that do have complex business models, and we want to remove that complexity for them. We know that or what we're hearing from them is, we're trying to manage multiple systems. We are trying to do this with a lean team. We're trying to do this in a way that we have to dive into this area and then into that area and, train new staff members to do it. And so what we're trying to do with Square is to remove that complexity and provide intuitive tools, but intuitive tools that are flexible, that are affordable, and that can scale, but sometimes contract, because that is the world that we're living in. Not everyone is growing at a massive trajectory that is sustainable. And so sometimes we do have to contract and reevaluate what we can invest in. And I think that these tools and this open nature allows merchants to be able to do that. And then speaking to, the onboarding, removing that friction is really important too, and making it simple. So that's where we're focused on our integration with Square and how we're addressing some of the trends that we're seeing specifically in food and bev. And then to give a specific example, we have a merchant, Van Leeuwen, who is a very famous ice cream shop. They started a food truck in New York, a yellow one, and I believe they have 50 retail locations now, and they serve their customers with Square in person, but they also ship across the United States. And fulfilling unique orders, you have to ship that product cold. And so we're able to serve that unique merchant online with Woo and pair that with Square to provide an exceptional in-person experience.
That's great. And we just announced our new partnership today as well, too, which is awesome. Darcy, let's hear about the food and beverage industry, which we heard a little bit about today, of course, but I'd love to get your take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Restaurants continue to face margin pressure with increased prices across food, labor, rent, insurance, utilities, and it's really important for OpenTable to help restaurants grow their revenue and protect their revenue in a scalable and smart way. And OpenTable's mission is to help restaurants do what they do better, and I think it really aligns with Square. So we've been focused on mitigating no-shows and late cancellations over the last year, which have a direct impact to a restaurant's bottom line. And how we've partnered with Square is to enhance our deposits product. So a diner can leave a deposit when they're making their OpenTable reservation, and then at the end of the meal, that deposit is now automatically deducted from the diner's bill. Historically, the server would have to manually deduct that deposit from the bill, of course, slowing down operations, opening it up to human error. And so the fact that we can remove that friction and allow restaurant teams to focus on delivering hospitality and recognition to their diners is just one way that Square and OpenTable are helping restaurants do what they do better.
And that's a new feature that we just launched very recently, correct?
Yes, I think March.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about how we work together. I think with Cubica, it's unique because it's not only on the product side, but on the go-to-market side, working very deeply with our sales team, going after large bowling centers. Can you talk a little bit about how that's been and exactly how we do work together?
I want to talk about two pieces, the channel sales team and the partnership team. The channel sales support that we have is absolutely phenomenal. And actually, when we started and initially joined up as partners, all of the functions that exist today didn't exist. So being part of Square's evolution and helping, as you guys have helped provide more resources and more services to help us be successful has been really huge. We've built basically an integrated sales approach with the channel sales team and beyond, where our teams are becoming expert on Square. Square account executives are becoming more expert on our piece. We've got a great handoff in place for leads. We've got a rather complicated sometimes sales cycle and a long sales cycle given capital equipment and construction that goes into centers and things of that nature, which isn't always compatible with tech, but Square has aligned with us in a really great way to do that so that we can work together, we can win deals, we've got good escalation path and so on. So that's really fantastic. And then the partnership team just in general, being able to work with counterparts, adore our partnership manager. I mean, we literally talk weekly and has been by our side through every step of the way, represents our needs, our efforts, is our voice throughout the larger Square organization. And it's just been a really positive experience to be real partners. Yeah.
So great to hear. All right, question for Tamara. As we talked about earlier, sellers are looking to save costs right now, and at the same time, they also say they want more flexibility. How does Woo and Square offer saving costs, but also flexibility across the various needs you have? Because you really serve all verticals, right? And so for e-commerce being a horizontal, how do we offer that flexibility, but also help on the cost saving side?
Yeah, we're hearing a lot around the pressure to save, consolidate. There's a lot of uncertainty. I mentioned that already. And so how can we reduce cost? And Square and Woo together, it was mentioned earlier, this open environment that provides choice and flexibility is a really important component to that. And so being open means we're not confining you to a boxed platform out of the box. We're not saying that you have to use a certain set of features or not use a certain set of features that you're going to pay for anyways. We're only going to charge you for what you use. You can add the extensions, bring in the best of class of what you need and nothing you don't. And what I mean by that is that if you are at a certain stage of, starting your business, growing your business, scaling it, or perhaps maybe contracting it for a short period of time to then grow again, you can do that with the flexibility. We're not going to penalize you for, I won't say downgrading, but maybe removing some of the extensions for a certain period of time and investing in others. So I think that flexibility is really important with both Square and Woo. And also, we talked about the other partnerships that can be involved with that. So adding the best in class from, email marketing and automation, or shipping and fulfillment, customer loyalty programs. The ability to add those when you need them and remove them when you don't is a really important flexible offering that our merchants need and want. And I think that Square also really values that. And it also is a great opportunity for us to help merchants grow. If you need to, or if you're looking to expand your business in certain markets, whether that's to go in person or think about, all right, now it's time to go online. No matter where your journey starts, you can do it, expand on the other side with Woo and Square.
Great. All right, we are running out of time. So one final question, and I'll go down the row, starting with you, Darcy. What are you most looking forward to about your partnership with Square? What's in store and what excites you about the future with us?
I think this is really just the tip of the iceberg in terms of how Square and OpenTable can partner together. I think there's a great opportunity to enrich the data that's exchanged, whether that be loyalty information that's housed on OpenTable, loyalty information on Square, and ensure that, again, servers have that 360-degree view of their diners so that they can think less about the tech powering the day-to-day and more about their guests and diners and how to deliver memorable experiences. I also think as Square continues to grow in the full service segment, there's so much more we can do in terms of go-to-market and lead sharing. And so, again, this is just really the beginning, and we've made great progress so far, but we still have a long ways to go.
All right, Tamara.
I think at the heart of it, our shared values of helping small businesses, entrepreneurs grow is what matters most. I'm super excited about the announcements that were made today. So congrats to the Square team for the successful release day. Really excited what that does for merchants and sellers. But most of all, I'm excited about what we talked about earlier, which was Square and Woo announced a preferred POS partnership today. So that's going to be great. And to add one more icing on the cake, cherry on top, I think that we can bring something to sellers that our competitors cannot. And I'm excited to go really big with Square on that.
So are we. Kelly.
It's a similar outlook at things. When we first partnered with Square, we knew that it would be a value add, all the various other products that Square has in the ecosystem. We didn't really appreciate, though, until we started working together with our customers beyond the integrations that we've already built, just how good of a fit so many of the other products are that are in place. And so I think one of the biggest things for me, kind of echoing my colleagues up here, is that this still feels like just the beginning. There are so many opportunities for us in our industry to bring the systems together, to introduce our customers to other products in the Square ecosystem, building integrations where it makes sense to make it seamless so they can be focused on that guest journey, be able to operate these centers with growing complexity in a better way, and just help them leverage more. And it'll all be in that mission of fewer systems working better together. And so I echo the sentiment here and the news, seeing some of the new things. Handheld is a perfect fit in our industry. Our people are nuts about combos, so seeing the continued evolution of the software is really exciting, and it's just the beginning. And looking forward to what's to come.
Awesome. I love that sentiment.
All right. Well, we are at the end of the programming for today. Please join me in thanking our three panelists here today.